Welcome to American Blacksmith. We're filming at McDonald's Blacksmith Shop, Los Lunas, New Mexico. This is our fishy demonstration, part 2. We're going to cover what we didn't get done in the last video so you understand how this goes together. And then we're going to show you how we apply these kind of sculptured items and that to railings and things that we do on a large production scale. Okay, this is the fish that we were working on in the last session, part 1, and I'm going to show you the tools again that we were using and some optional tools. And so we were showing you these kind of tools that have rounded impressions. Some are half round for scales, that sort of. But you can also use handheld punches, the same punches that you can use for carving and such, for these kind of tools. So usually I do these kind of tools underneath the treadle hammer, but I want to try to show how you can just do it on a flat surface or an anvil and that. So also we're going to show you how to attach the fin with a rivet and then get back to the hooks and show you the little tricky part of making these. And the reason I'm showing you this particular exercise is that's what it is if you're interested in learning more about hammering. And that, so you've got a flat plate that you can put impressions on and sicing and such, and then you've got these hooks that take a certain amount of hammering and some finesse in here, and it's good practice. So we'll go ahead and we'll fire up the torches, and we're going to also show you how to attach the hangers on the back and the finish that we're going to use. So we'll do that next. Go ahead and do this fin. Show you how to attach the fin now with a rivet, as we showed in the first part, that we forged this out using a cross peen to spread it out and to leave these marks here. Then you can use a piece of 3/8 is probably the best, or half round. Then we cut it off, hacksaw, you saw. Drill a hole in the fin, drill a hole in the fish itself, insert the rivet, then we can turn it over and simply peen the rivet by using a ball peen hammer. And I would repeat that. So it can be done cold. Don't even need to heat that part up. We're going to work on the hooks for the fish hanger right now. Let me show you how to forge this material out, spread it out. Today we're going to use a treadle torch instead of a forge. And what I have here is a gas saver valve that's set up on a homemade treadle, meaning that there's a pedal here, and that's what turns the gas off. So I can take smaller stock Give yourself a little more reserved heat. Don't just heat the end that you're going to forge. Give yourself a little more heat. Bring it over to here on your edge and just rotate it slightly, about 3/4 of the way around. And then you can increase your hammer blows. And you've isolated the piece. So what we did was we just forged out this little groove here on the edge of the anvil. And we're going to have that isolation of this small piece here. Then what we're going to move to is this. And this little spread here. So I'm going to show you in the next heat to hit it right in here with a ball peen hammer and to spread this out. You can point it later. And again, we only want a blunt point on this thing, not a sharp point. All right, now I'm reheating just the end here that I'm going to spread out. And I'll show you the point at which you hit it. And that's right here. Almost burned the piece, as you noticed there. All right, there's that. Okay, here's what we just did. We forged out this portion here, then we pointed it afterwards. So then you get this transition, and we would continue to hammer then to taper this. So we get a nice tapered thin hook. Now I'm going to show how to do the tapering of the hook so we get a nice transition in here, and it'll be a lot easier to bend. So give myself a good heat here. Just roll the piece around. Use the edge of the anvil here. If you hit it on the flat, it tends just to go back and forth. But if you use this edge as a fuller, you'll get a lot more tapering done, and it'll show it thin. So from this size stock down to here. And then you have this nice bulge here for the hook itself, and then there's still a blunt end that will file so that it's not sharp. So it can be used for hanging of household items, that sort of thing. And the hook like this, you can make in all kinds of sizes. You can start out with a massive stock using power hammers or strikers and use this type of technique for all kinds of hooks and so forth. Now we're going to show how to bend the hook in this manner. And I can use a pair of rounded nose pliers here. And I'll show you how to make some from home, from regular pliers. And so I'm going to get a decent heat in here, and I can simply start bending the hook. So if I want to bend it more, I repeat it in that area, do a little sweep there, take a look at it, there, back if I want, round it up further. You can always take it over your anvil here. I also have this little anvil here. I don't know who's making these aren't that old, but here you could do a lot of your work with a smaller stock off of something like this. or you can make one of these in your shop. But this would allow, this little piece right here would allow you to do a lot of this work. All right, I'm going to attach the hooks using my 30-some-year-old Miller welder that's still working good. I'll position the hooks in this area, 1, 2, and 3, and then either weld them with the MIG welder, or you can gas weld them. You can flatten this end out if you wanted to, but gas welding's just as good. And then the same with the connectors here. So we'll put those in this position here and weld them here and here. Here's what the fishy looks like now after it's been forged out, and then we're going to show you how to finish on this. And I'm using, for the highlighting, this is not a paint, it's a brass brush that'll come off at about 1,000 degrees. So if the piece isn't hot enough, the brass won't come off. If it's too hot, it won't show. And also, some of this blue in that can come from cooling it off while it's still hot under the water. So you can get all this from just fire and water. So normally when I use a clear coat, I'm using a matte or a non-gloss finish. But in the case of anything that's supposed to look like it's in the water or the sea, that sort of thing, then I'm using a gloss. So that's about the only time we use a gloss finish around here. And that gives us our sheen. Here's an example of what we use fish for in some of our architectural projects. This is a grand staircase that we did for a restaurant in Naples, Florida. And we forged all the fish and the seaweed. Here's a sample piece that we made for the shop. We made some for the owners. We've got all of the cross sections of various plant life. And also the crabbies. And the glass that was incorporated in the backside of the railing, and the original patterns of the waves and so forth. Hey, thanks for watching American Blacksmith. You can leave your comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. And the next video will be our shop tour part 1. So see you then.